Hi everybody, welcome to Dulcimerica. My name is Futch. Thanks for joining me for another tune for Far Flung Friday. We're taking tunes from all over the world and playing them this February. And that tune is one of my favorites, and it's really kind of obscure. Looked online to find some information about it, and there's just not a lot available. It's from Czechoslovakia, and the tune is called Annie Went Down to the Cabbage Patch. It's such a fun tune, and I don't know why, but there's something about the movement, the phrasing of the melody and the movement of the rhythm towards the end there. It reminds me of Dutch music for some reason. So I need to study it and find out if there's some sort of a correlation, or if maybe the Dutch and the Czechoslovakians were sharing tunes somehow, just like the UK and the United States have these lineages and regions and so forth going on. Anyway, it's a fun tune, and we're going to work on that today. And you can download it from my open house on Patreon, just down below. While you're at that site, downloading the tablature, bookmark it, and take note of the open house tags below the tablature where you can download. Go on back to the site after this episode is over and click on that open house tag. It'll lead you to over 600 posts with a lot more free downloads from music and videos and my albums and all kinds of stuff. If you like all this info and you think it might help you to be a better mountain dulcimer player, ukulele player, Native American flute, get into music theory, piano, songwriting, production, performance, these are all things I cover and teach in the vault. And there are terabytes of information in the vault, along with all of my book CDs, my tablature, and I do weekly video stuff, as well as you also get in for free if you were a patron to all of my online workshops. It's just $5 a month for the whole taco, everything included. So if you're interested, make sure you go on back over to the Patreon site and check out the open house and download to your heart's content. If you feel you might be into it, it's just $5 a month for everything. That's the store, the whole thing. I want to thank you also, patrons, because that's why I'm up like 6:30 this morning shooting Dulcimerica episodes far into the future, because you guys make it possible for me to do that. So thank you very much. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at Annie Went Down to the Cabbage Patch. We're in DAD tuning, and we are in the key of D major, 2 sharps on the staff, F sharp and C sharp. Now we also have got 4/4 time, so we have 4 beats in the measure, that's the top number, and we are using the quarter note as our unit of measure. So that's the bottom number, quarter note gets the beat. We have an A part of 4 measures and a B part of 4 measures. No repeats. So 1 time through the A part, 1 time through the B part. It's pretty short, pretty simple. All right, let's take a look at the A part starting, and really this is largely a bunch of 8th notes. It is all 8th notes and quarter notes until we get to the very, very last measure, measure 8. And there's a little bit of syncopation that happens there. On the downbeat, we've got a dotted 8th note. So there are basically 3 16th notes inside of that, and then it's followed by a 16th note. So those of you who've been playing for a little bit can recognize that notation. If we've got straight 8th notes, they would go like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's the majority of the tune, is the straight 8s. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. More specifically, look at the first measure, and we can count that out. We have 6 8th notes and 1 quarter note. Count that out as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you can get an idea what the rhythm is like before we even start playing it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. For the half note there, 2 beats for the half note. When we get to the 8th note, or the 8th measure, however, it becomes 16th note subdivisions. Bum, 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 bum. Get 3 16th notes, 3 claps inside of the dotted 8th note. 1 clap for the 16th note to follow. You can tell that 16th note is hiding there because if you follow the stem upwards, you can see not 1 but 2 bars connecting it. 2 bars connect groups of 16th notes, while 1 bar connects groups of 8th notes. So you can see we've got 1, bum, bum. There's 2 16th notes for every 8th note. Bum, 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 bum. And that quarter note, 4 16th notes inside of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clapping louder for each new note event. Bum, 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 bum. bum, 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 bum. And without the subdivisions, bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. And that's the most tricky rhythm of the piece, is this little syncopated, and that's it. Very simple chord movement. It's 1, 4, 5 stuff. D, G, and A. We're using A7 here because it's jolly. Let's go ahead and walk through it. Now, where I don't have zeros in the D majors, that means go ahead and play the drone. So even in measure 2, when we're doing the A7 chord, that top row, I've got nothing written there. Go ahead and drone that bass string. It'll be just fine. All right, here we go. Nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, so you'll notice as I'm moving through, let's walk through it again. First of all, I'm using multiple fingers, because when this thing starts moving at speed, you're going to, even for 8 notes, you're going to want to make sure that you're using multiple fingers, because it really does help quite a bit. Same thing with the right hand, alternating pick direction when you can. Measure 2, split. Some harmony drone on the middle string there. G major down into a A7, and then the B part, slide it on up to the 4. Notice I keep my fingers on the strings that I left them on. Like, I like to lead with my thumb, but when I come out of this 4-4-4, my ring finger's on the melody string. And so when I come down to that 2 at the end of measure 6, I keep it on the melody string instead of switching out. Why is that? Because 1, it's easy to do, and 2, I don't have to take my finger off the string, which would make that string stop sounding. And not that choppiness is a concern here, but it's just, continuity-wise, it'll keep it from sounding a little too broken up, if you understand what I'm saying. And then measure 7, hitting this B minor, into a G major, and then our syncopation. I do use the right hand palm mute to get some separation in between some of these rhythms, because to me it just sounds so perky. I like to put a little bit of staccato feel on that. You can almost feel the dance that goes along with this tune. And in measure 8, you can get that. There's a very Scandinavian feel about that. So I do like to kind of accent that a bit. One more thing I'll show you, and then I'll play through it again, is tunes that have a lot of quarter note, rhythmic, melodic influence and phrases, and also 8 notes, can be very 4 on the floor, meaning and it's hard to get them to groove a bit. So one of the things that you can do with a tune that needs the groove is to put accents on your strumming, meaning play these accents a little bit louder. Play the accents on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That accent actually sort of emulates the feel of what you get when you've got a kick drum and a snare drum. Boom, ch, boom, ti, boom, ti, boom, ti, boom, ti. We're so used to hearing that in Western music. Well, the so-called afterbeat, which really isn't a weak beat, but it is the 2 and 4 is the snare. Boom, ta, boom, ta, boom, ta. It's the ta that we're putting in. So if I just go, it's fine, but if I go ahead and put the accents on 2 and 4, listen to how it just kind of makes the thing a bit more grooving. So forth and so on. So that little accent really does help quite a bit, giving you a little bit get up and go and get you in the pocket. As far as the rhythm's concerned, one more time through. Annie went down to the Cabbage Patch. She sure did, and she must have done a little dance down there because it certainly sounds like it with this song. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody, and we're going to continue Far-Flung February next week as we travel to Japan for our next tune. See you then.